Getting a little short on time, but I wanted to talk gut health a little bit with you. How much coffee and whiskey and spicy food do you recommend to regulate your gut health? Because I think about that sometimes, like my gut must be a mess.
Well, you're not alone. I would say that gut problems are the number one thing that we face. I mean, think about it. The number of people on PPIs alone or H2 blockers or whatever they're doing, you artificially raise the pH of your stomach. And then it can't operate right. You can't digest correctly. You can't absorb correctly. And then you're leading yourself to H. pylori. You're leading yourself to bad junctions. So you're going to have a leaky gut. And you got to remember, your gut has a one cell membrane. It's one cell thick. And if those junctions in tight, it lets stuff into your bloodstream that's not supposed to be there. If it looks like your thyroid, the proteins look like your thyroid, you got Hashimoto's. If it looks like your gut Crohn's, I mean, so that's a good way to get autoimmune diseases, and that's one of the reasons they come in packs, is because you let too much stuff in. And again, I'll probably really make people mad on alcohol. None is best. And of course, after that, it's moderation. Like I have a friend that, I said, it's so fine if you have a glass or two, but not a bottle or two, because he was a bottle or two guy night. And so it's all about moderation, decreasing carbs, and get, gluten. Anything that's inflammatory to your gut, you need to cut down on. Coffee is fine. It's just that if you drink anything like that that's too much of, it's going to make your urine acidic. That's going to cause you to have an increased chance of kidney stones. It'll cause you to have more chances to have other diseases. Your body works best when you can get the pHs higher, like above 7. At least get your urine to 6.75 or above, and that'll prevent a lot of those problems.
Yeah. Part of the challenge with gut health is that anybody that's into functional medicine loves to talk about the importance of gut health, but it's one of those things that can be kind of hard for your run-of-the-mill patients to quantify. How do you go about having that conversation and letting them kind of educating the patient and letting them know how they can help and why it's important?
Yeah, so once we develop the questionnaires that we do, or we talk to them and we find out what's going on with them, we make suggestions, and then we monitor that for results. A great example was a man came in one day, I think it was on a Saturday, and I was working, and he was explaining his wife had all these had some kind of problem, I forgot what it was, but he has had these terrible gut problems for 20 years. He's been to every doctor, had every tube both ways, and nobody can help him, and he's just been miserable for 20 years. So we used a product. There's two products you can give somebody to get them off of PPIs that's really helpful for their gut. We get it from Biotics Research. It's GI and GI Smooth, and you give it a specific way, and usually one, maybe 2 bottles of each. So you'll take it for 1 or 2 months. Usually 1 month is all they need, and they're off of the PPIs. I mean, it's just terrific. And it's really healing to your gut. This particular gentleman calls me on Tuesday and is healed. He has not felt like this in 20 years and cannot believe it. And as a matter of fact, because he came in and was not expecting to buy anything, I gave them to him and told him if they worked to come back and pay me. And that's what he did. Oh, wow. And they worked so well. I mean, he was in disbelief, and his gut was just normal. And those are the kind of things you can make an impact on. And the secret sauce, Will, is just talk to your patients. All you got to do is just talk to them. And the other thing that pharmacists I hear this all the time. Well, I talked to one of my patients, and they just weren't interested. They said no, so they give up. And you got to remember, you got to be willing to get 9 no's to get 1 yes. And that's all you have to do to get to these big numbers.
Yeah, that's interesting. That conversation can be tricky, but again, if you can tap into that that value system, maybe skip going to Texas Roadhouse this week and take these labs instead. You'll be happier long term.